video from your boy Morrow from the Heavy Hitters Entertainment. And today's video is going to be one of those type of videos where it's not going to be as exciting, but more of sadness, because this is a video that I was challenged by B to do a 5 wrestlers' death that changed wrestling forever, that changed the landscape of WWE. And I accepted that challenge, so I'm going to do this video. So, without further ado, make sure to just like and subscribe, comment. We on the road to 100 subscribers. Help us to get to our first 100, man. We coming, man. We at 52 right now. Let's get to 100. Let's stop playing around, man. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, man. Let's go. But we finna jump into this video. So, first on this list that I have, obviously, this is a death that probably changed everything about WWE in the history of this person's career. Has been destroyed and erased from history. We're gonna go with Chris Benoit, man. Chris Benoit is arguably one of the greatest in-ring technical wrestlers of all time. Like, it's incredible how good Chris Benoit was in the ring, and it's just sad to see what happened in the whole situation. As we know, he was supposed to face CM Punk at Night of Champions 07 for the ECW World Championship, and it was gonna be Chris Benoit and CM Punk, bro. What a match that would have been. CM Punk, a young upstart CM Punk, versus a veteran like Chris Benoit. That was going to be an incredible match for the ECW World title at Vengeance Night of Champions. Unfortunately, Chris Benoit didn't make the flight to the city where they were going to be having the show at, and we all know what happened. The rest is history. I'm not going to go into detail in this video about Chris Benoit's situation. We all know that if you're a true wrestling fan, if you even watched the Chris Benoit documentary, you know what happened. It's sickening. It's hard. It's hard to really even talk about, like. But that's one of the deaths that really changed the landscape of wrestling, man. People to this day still talk about it. It's really, really sad. But secondly, one of the all-time greats, a former WWE champion, Viva la Raza, rest in peace to Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is another death that changed wrestling. Benoit was like a really close friend of Eddie Guerrero, and that was one of the hardest things that Chris Benoit had to go through. When Eddie Guerrero passed, that was the breaking point for Chris Benoit, but Eddie Guerrero is arguably one of the greatest of all time. He's a former WWE champion. He once would have been the face of SmackDown. He won almost every championship in WWE. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I didn't watch Eddie Guerrero's career from the start to the finish of his career, but I did, get glimpses of Eddie Guerrero. I went back to watch, on the WWE Network, his whole full career retrospect. And it's just crazy. When Eddie Guerrero passed away, it was so sad. I mean, the WWE, it was just crazy how sad the situation was with Eddie Guerrero. And he had heart failure and different, situations going on in his life, and he passed away at a very young age. He actually died at the age of 32 years old. He was really in the prime of his wrestling career when he passed away. It's so sad that Eddie Guerrero died, and it really had a big effect on, a lot of wrestlers today and back then. But the next person on this list I have he was probably one of the most dominant, super athletic big men I've ever seen in WWE. He was a massive individual. He was a part of the Fatu family. Umaga is the third person on this list. His death really did hit certain people. Like, his death wasn't really that much talked about as like the Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit's deaths, but Umaga was one of those guys who really was like, in the ring, he was different. Like, his athletic ability was second to none for a big man who was about 300 plus pounds. He was incredibly good in the ring, and when he passed away, really silently, like no one expected Umaga to pass away at the age of 36 years old. Like that was out of the norm. Like, but I feel like his death really hit a lot of certain people hard, especially the Fatu family. You know, Roman Reigns, The Rock. You know, all of those different the Usos as well. You know, Rikishi. That's all in that family line. That Samoan bloodline. You know, it's Umaga really. You know, his death hit a lot of people hard. It probably didn't really change the face and the landscape of wrestling, but it hit a lot of people hard to a point. You know, where it was a really sad moment, in history. Fourth on this list. Now I didn't watch this superstar because I wasn't really born when he was wrestling, but the Ultimate Warrior is the fourth man on this list. I feel like his death really did change wrestling. I feel like back then the Ultimate Warrior was a top superstar. He was Intercontinental Champion. He was World Champion. Ultimate Warrior was like the perfect built superstar back then. If you looked at his physique back then, he had the ultra charisma with the face paint and running to the ring real fast and shaking the ropes and stuff like that. Like Ultimate Warrior was a great superstar back in his era and back in his time. And I remember him going into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2014, and then he had a speech on the Raw right after that. And then he died the next week. So he went into the Hall of Fame, did his Hall of Fame speech, cut a promo on Raw, and then he passed away the next week. Now, in that promo, he was saying, every man beats his final beat and, things like that. So I feel like Ultimate Warrior was, I don't know, I feel like he was calling it already. Like, he felt it. Like, as it says here in my notes, he went into the Hall of Fame, appeared in WrestleMania 30 2 days before his heart failure. And it said what is regarded as the saddest WWE death of this decade. Yes, he died at age 54. As I said, he went in the Hall of Fame and he passed away, and it was crazy. Rest in peace to the Ultimate Warrior. Rest in peace to everyone on this list, man. That's sad. And then the last person, I'm gonna go with the British Bulldog. Now this is one of the infamous Davey Boy Smith. He was a part of the Hart Foundation with Bret Hart, Owen Hart, etc. Recipes to Owen as well. But British Bulldog was that. Well, he was one of those great superstars back then as well. As I said, I didn't watch British Bulldog that much, but from the notes that I have here, it said that Davey Boy Smith, better known by his ring name, the British Bulldog, had quickly made his presence felt in WWF. And the Bulldog was on a streak of wins with pay-per-view victories and title wins. The first ever European champion. He also defeated his brother-in-law, Bret Hart, for the prestigious WWF title. So British Bulldog had a lot of great success back then. As it stated, he was the first ever European champion. I didn't know that, so now I got some new knowledge in my brain. So yeah, but man, as I said, rest in peace to all of these. Well, Chris Benoit, in my opinion, I'm going to say it because I feel like what he did, he doesn't deserve a rest in peace. I feel like Nancy and Daniel, rest in peace to them. Chris Benoit is one of the sickest human beings I've ever known of. And it's just disgusting what he did. But rest in peace to all the other guys on this list. Sad situations. These 5 deaths changed WWE forever. Changed wrestling in general. And a lot of these guys left us very, very soon. But he was actually 40 when he passed away as well. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment to the channel. Show love. As this one more thing before I continue, it said he suffered a heart attack while vaccinating with his girlfriend. He suffered a heart attack that might have been the result of consumption of anabolic steroids. There was no final comment on this, and what caused his heart attack remains a mystery. So it's not really any knowledge of what really caused his heart attack. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, comment, cut on the bell. Let me know in the comment section if you have any thoughts on anyone I said. Do you feel disrespected by anything I said? Let me know in the comments anything, and I'll be happy and very lovely to respond to your comment. But until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.